Hey, Daily Rabbit Hole here. How you doing? All right. I hope everyone's well. There is a lot going on in America that we need to talk about. And there are a lot of events that have transpired in the last 24 hours inside of America that are going to leave a lot of people feeling uneasy inside of America. Now, before we get started, I would like to say thank you for following the Daily Rabbit Hole. We're streaming right now on the website, the www.thedailyrabbithole.org. We're also on Rumble and YouTube. So feel free to kick back with me tonight. Hope you got your drink ready. We got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. Whole lot of stuff that I'm not sure we're all ready for as Americans. Oh, excuse me. I had dinner, putting down some drinks, coming back up as gas. Excuse me. I know that's rude. Just bear with me. All right. It's been a very long day for me. I have not gotten out of the clothes that I have been at the protest in. I've sweated them out, dried out, talked to the media, have some content going to the local region media, and hopefully going out to the affiliates. With all credit to the Daily Rabbit Hole, it is the clip on my page of the gentleman who threw the water and fucked around and found out. All right, now disclaimer: when I first made that video, I honestly didn't see the water thrown at all, right? So when it happened, I was like, oh, and then I went back and was like, damn, he didn't sucker punch him because me and the cops were looking at it and we were both like, damn, he actually did throw water on him because I told him I didn't see it, which I didn't. Can't fabricate something I didn't see in real time, right? You guys got to be careful with that. And a lot of times that's been my point about things that go on in front of you. You can only process so much. I made an error at the time and said the gentleman sucker punched him, and to be fair, he did, but it wasn't unwarranted, is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the gentleman who was sucker punched threw water on somebody at the protest, and it went from there. So just always bear with me when information comes out and we got to discuss it. It happens in live time, and then things are said, and then when you watch video, you understand what happened. All right. So get off my ass, guys. You guys are good, man. Don't worry, man. You guys keep me honest. I always explain to you, hey, I didn't see it like I said. I didn't see it in real time. But when we went back to the replay, that's where I noticed it. And it's like, okay, the gentleman did throw the water. Took a punch to the face, got his nose broken. All right. Now, before I get too far into this, let me do a quick sound check, at least on my Facebook page, not my Facebook page, my YouTube, my website, and Rumble. I always got to make sure things happen. I think you guys can hear me, and I'm talking to myself the whole entire time. Can't nobody hear nothing. Yep, we're good. We're working. We're cooking with grease right now on YouTube. So if YouTube is fine, the website's fine. And if YouTube is fine, Rumble should be crystal clear right now. So I'm just going to check Rumble, and then we're going to get into this show. Yep, we're fine. We're good to go. We're cooking with grease, baby. All right. Phone down, drinks out. Let's get into it. All right. Now, we got a lot of important stories to talk about now. Again, I am based in Mobile, Alabama. Okay. So we had our own protest down here today, downtown at the Government Plaza, which it would make sense why you would go to Government Plaza to protest. That's where if I'm not mistaken, could be wrong, but I feel like this is where you get your petition to protest. All right. So again, in these conversations where we talk about mass protests, I've always said that when they're sweeping the nation, you got to know it was orchestrated. It was coming, and we knew it was coming because today was also Trump's birthday. He did the military parade in D.C. I missed it. I watched some of it. I was bouncing between editing content and cleaning out my camera. I was trying to watch some of it. I didn't get to all of it. I'll watch it tomorrow more than likely, rewatch it, and just go from there. But my understanding, it was a very successful event. I didn't watch all of it, but it looked like it was fairly entertaining. Now, if the question is, was he conducting himself as a dictator? I mean, it's a slippery slope because, yeah, Russia does it, Xi Jinping does it, all these other world leaders have these military displays and where they have the military show their strength and their weaponry and all that good stuff. I see both sides of it, and I never try to take a side in this. I just understand that how it looks is exactly that. I take it for face value. I try not to act like I'm not looking at what I'm looking at. It comes off as a dictator, yes. As America and what we're going through right now, I would assume that they want to show a test of might or a show of might and strength. All right. It's so much going on because now we have Israel and Iran shooting at each other too. So all of this seems to like have fallen right in place at the right time. Like I've always said, a combination of weird conspiracy gumbo. You throw a little bit of parade in here, you throw a little bit of protest in here, and then we discuss also what went down in Minnesota with the two lawmakers. Rest their souls. I heard what happened. I'm. We're gonna talk about it, and yes, yes, it smells really badly. It smells bad, and from what I was reading with the story about the two lawmakers in Minnesota, it seems to be right on time with everything that's just happened in the last 48 to 72 hours. We'll say the last 4 days with Iran and Israel. We'll say the protests in LA having sweeping riots with the military involved, and of course, the big question of the night: is it a psyop or not? And again, I try not to put this kind of message and just be like everything is a psyop, everything. Ah, I don't try to do that. What I want to do is state the obvious to you guys. I want to be able to sit here and have a candid conversation like a normal human being. Not the protesting, not the fighting, not the feelings involved. I just want to have a normal conversation about things that are going on. And when you read these stories and you see what's transpiring, none of it makes sense, but it all makes sense. You're like, what? Why? And then you're like, well, the last couple days have been oddly rough. And couple shows back, wall break, couple shows back, I had mentioned about domestic extremism and how it could play into something greater with the surveillance and Palantir, Adam Thiel, the whole surveillance state thing that we're talking about. And when people say the surveillance state, please understand that we're about 75% a surveillance state. Complete surveillance is what I believe this the AI and the self-governing or self-policing system will amount to. I think the robots in the police immunity is a slippery slope. I think there's a lot of things transpiring that a lot of us do not understand as a whole. And it takes some, I guess, compartmentalizing it in sections and to discuss it. Because right now, we have the migrants, we have the no kings, we have the military parade for Trump's birthday, and then we got the two senators, four lawmakers, excuse me, not senators, four lawmakers out of Massachusetts who were two of them were gunned down, one couple was gunned down, the other one 9 miles down the road looks like they had some injuries, but all will survive in that one. All right. Now, I read some stuff that was extremely insane about this story too, and I want you to understand. Like, I want to read this out loud to you because it's pretty apparent that someone made the call. And you're saying, what do you mean someone made the call? When you hear how he did it, you're gonna be like, huh? And I'm gonna go back to a situation that happened a couple years ago to a judge and her family when she opened the door and found a rude awakening dressed as a FedEx employee. All right. I hope that gives you a little bit of, I guess, synopsis of where I'm going with this or understanding. I don't say synopsis. So I'm going to read something out to you. All right. I want to make sure I got the good story, the right one. That's not the one I want. Like, it's real crazy because the story I read said the gentleman had dressed up as a police officer. And that's real crazy to me because the information that's come out so far, they're saying the guy was some type of private contractor. He had had some overseas time in Middle East and Africa. My thinking is that he could be prior military working as a contractor. He's working under a contracting company. And once I find a little bit more of the story, a better story, I had it initially and then I closed the window and forgot which one it was. So bear with me. We'll try this one. I think it was AP. Yeah, okay. Okay, and the guy who did it is apparently a former political appointee. Like there's so much going into this, man. Um, all right, so here we go. All right, I'm gonna start from the top. Let me bring the screen in. There you go. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. All right. Hope you guys can see it. It's at the top right there. So just follow along with me, hang out with me, and get a wet my throat a little bit. All right. It says hundreds of law officers fanned out across a Minneapolis suburb Saturday in pursuit of a man who authorities say posed as a police officer and fatally shot a Democratic state lawmaker in her home in what Governor Tim Walz called a politically motivated assassination. Authorities said the suspect also shot and wounded a second lawmaker and was believed to be trying to flee the area. Democratic former House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark were killed in Brooklyn Park home. Senator John Hoffman, also a Democrat, and his wife Yvette were injured at their Chaplin address about 9 miles away. All right, the guy's 57 years old. His name is Vance Bolter. They have a $50,000 reward for him right now. They haven't found him. All right. Now, I know what I just said sounds insane. Like, I want you to understand what I just said. The man was posing as a police officer, had the car, everything, fooled him, right? I have talked about numerous times the risk of extremism like this and how it's gonna work against the people. The more people do stuff like this, the tighter the leash gets. And it almost warrants the AI structure. And I'm not saying that's what I'm asking for, and I'm not saying this gentleman was right in what he did. But I'm saying that these two are together. And once you start going after lawmakers and other lawmakers feel uncomfortable, now they're going to pass some type of sweeping reform to keep themselves safe. They're insulating themselves. And I'm not saying that this is some ploy or this is a tactic or this was some false flag event. That's not what I'm saying. I'm reading what happened this morning, essentially like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning their time. All right. Now, before I finish this, I do want to say that from my understanding in the footage and the video that I've watched, there was a manifesto. You know what that means. The key, the bullet points that you would check off if this was a psyop are starting to check off. And I'm gonna be honest, that wasn't just random. That's not random. Like the man successfully did it and he is still on the run. These people came to his house and when they approached him, he looked like a cop. Gunshots rang out. He goes in the house and then they say he just disappears from there. Now they don't know where he's at. This is what the press has put out. This is not saying that I believe fully, but let's just fully get into this, okay? It says authorities displayed a photo taken Saturday of Bolter wearing a tan cowboy hat and asked the public to report sightings. Drew Evans, superintendent of the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, said investigators obtained video as well. He did not give details on a possible motive. Bolter is a former political appointee who served on the same state workforce development board as Hoffman. Records show, though it was not clear or how well they knew each other. The early morning attacks prompted warnings to other elected officials around the state and the cancellation of the No Kings demonstration against President Trump. Though some went ahead anyway. In Mobile, they went on. In a lot of places, they went on. Again, it was a lot of places that still held the rally. All right, so maybe in that area, but in rest of America, yes, they were going on. All right. Says no king flowers in this. They found no king flowers in his car and writings mentioning the names of victims as well as lawmakers and officials, though they could not say if he had any other specific targets, which they just said he had mentioning the names of victims. So, run with that if you want. They don't want to induce fear and panic, but sure. Minnesota official told the Associated Press that the suspect's writings also contain information targeting prominent lawmakers who have been outspoken in favor of abortion rights. You remember what happened in California about a month ago with the guy in his car in the fertility clinic and it went boom? You remember what I told you then? A lot of these single narrative, um, just political points are going to get you dinged on the list. I told y'all this. I've said this hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. Every time someone does something like this in America, it's like they're just taking checks with it. Like, ding, we're gonna eventually get the sweeping reform. I told you about the gentleman in New Orleans at the beginning of the year. He was military. He was at Fort Bragg, also home to the 4th and 5th PSYOP Division. The gentleman in Vegas, also 4th and 5th PSYOP Division, home of at Fort Bragg. He was also stationed there. Not saying he was a part of the 4th and 5th PSYOP Division. I'm saying there's a coincidence there. This gentleman in Vegas was a special operations guy who managed to do this. Now we fast forward and we have the gentleman in California who blew up the fertility clinic. And if you go up to Washington, like I mentioned last week, the gentleman who had all the weapons and beat a person with a hammer on the military base to steal it, that was also considered domestic extremism. And now you got this gentleman who then opened up on lawmakers. Listen, this is very equivalent to Luigi Mangione, all right? This is in the same category. Instead of CEOs, now it's lawmakers. And never are you going to hear me say someone just deserves to get gunned down. They may deserve to go to prison. They may deserve their due diligence in court. But I won't sit here and condone just kind of violence. I just won't. But I'm not naive, and this is something that I've been telling you guys about for a while, that there are people walking around on that kind of time. And I've said this numerous times. I've said it. There are people walking around with ideas and notions and feelings, and eventually these people are going to ruin it for everybody, and because they're the ones conducting these events. And as I told you, the more it happens, the more reform that's going to come behind it. And as they've already put that Palantir deal out there and it's done, you can understand that a centralized database of information and data being taken in real time on people. Just think about that. And as these keep going on, and people going after lawmakers, that reform is coming because they're going to use the idea of how they felt during Jan 6. And, it's open season on lawmakers. And that's not what I'm saying people should do. But what I'm saying is there's a situation right now where the first punch has been thrown. And this isn't the first time people have tried to go after lawmakers. About 2-3 years ago in Michigan, a group of maybe 5 or 6, maybe 8, were trying to kidnap a governor. So this is not the first time. You have the incident in Arizona back in the day where the young senator, young woman was shot in the head out of Arizona. All right. You guys remember who I'm talking about? I think her husband is now a senator or governor of Arizona. Mark Kelly, I believe is his name. That was her husband. He's now a lawmaker. I forget her name. I'm sorry. But you know who I'm talking about. But these events are real. These events are happening. And there are Americans walking around doing these things, or as if it's coming off as just purely Americans doing it. Now, I want to insert a couple variables that I found interesting. The fact that he came in like a police officer, Very questionable. But what I thought was the strangest thing was that this gentleman is part of a contracting company, and I want to get into that, okay? This is the part that I wanted to focus on for real, for real. All right. It says Bolter was appointed to the Workforce Development Board in 2016 and then reappointed in 2019 to a 4-year term that expired in 2023, state records show. Corporate records show Bolter's wife filed to create a company called Praetorian Guard Security Services LLC with the same Green Isle mailing address listed for the couple. On a website for the business, Bolter's wife is listed as president and CEO, while he is listed as director of security patrols. So the gentleman has a background in security. He understands how to move. He understands how to be an operator. Let's just call it out that way. The homepage says it provides armed security for property and events and features a photo of an SUV painted in a two-tone black and silver pattern similar to a police vehicle, with a light bar across the roof and Praetorian painted across the doors. Another photo shows a man in black tactical gear with a military style helmet and a ballistic vest. You have a prototype right now of what extremism looks like. You're starting to get a picture painted to you. You understand how this is going now? All right. You already heard that they've had the legislation to take bulletproof vests off the market, make them illegal or just a little bit harder to get. Different tactical gear stores and supplies, make these items hard to get because why do regular people need tactical gear is the question. And you have like security agencies. And when I lived in Phoenix, Phoenix is a huge security contracting area. Like it's just they got a lot of that stuff out there. All right, they got like shooting ranges, kill houses, a lot of instructors, tactical stores. You can pretty much get what you want out there. Equipment, anything you can think of, you can pretty much find it in Phoenix. All right. So this gentleman was basically at a part of a private contracting company called Praetorian. All right. It says an online resume says Bolter is a security contractor who has worked in the Middle East and Africa in addition to past managerial roles at companies in Minnesota. So when I hear security contractor who worked in the Middle East and Africa, there is a huge chance with someone with this kind of background, possibly military, possibly former operator, some type of special operations. He could just be infantry. Those guys move into that too. A lot of your war MOSs end up being contractors because we love war in the world. There's always room and payment for war. So think about everything that I'm saying, and also let's throw in that today is No King's Day, the military parade, and just the sweeping protests that were all orchestrated same exact time everywhere around America. That takes organization. Order from chaos, as I always say it. Order from chaos. You guys don't listen to me, man. I'm telling you, they have a blueprint. And it may seem like there's so much going on. If you step outside of it and watch it and don't try to get consumed by the legacy media and what you're watching, you'll notice a pattern here. There's an apparent pattern happening right now. And however this decides to play out, what I'm saying is everybody, we need to think very rationally. Now wall break, and I say this because I want to mention another story I heard today. I just saw the video. I gotta look into it some more. It's purely speculation. I gotta check the sources, but I did hear about it. Caught a small article. The the gentleman Nick Irvin, the Grim Reaper, the gentleman that you see who's been on Sean Ryan and a lot of other podcasts and streams talking about his time in Iraq during all of that in Afghanistan. Allegedly, from my understanding, his home was raided by police for having an insane amount of weapons. Now, while that's not a crime to have a whole lot of firearms, what I'm saying is they said it was standard routine patrol that they went in there and they had to go survey how many weapons he had. Nick Irvin did not go out and some guns are blazing. He opened all his safes. He cooperated. He showed them what he had. This is from what I understand, what I'm hearing. This is just merely speculation. If it is true, that is crazy work right now that they know who has what. I don't think they don't know, but they went to his, checked everything. They still end up bringing him into the station and apprehending him and whatnot. But it's an ongoing case, but his lawyers are in the process of verifying all the weapons because I think because mainly he had some automatics, he had a couple grenades. I'm gonna be honest. People that deployed like that have a infatuation with firearms and weapons, and that's just an uncomfortable truth about the people you've deployed. Me personally, you shouldn't have deployed them like that, and if you didn't want them to have guns and feel like that, you shouldn't have taught them everything that you taught them. And it's a slippery slope when I say that. Again, I'm a veteran myself. I'm not the tip of the spear. I'm the stick, I'm the foundation. Air Force, mission support. All right. So a lot of people in the military, especially in the Army and the Marines, Rangers and Delta and SEALs, all these guys have an affliction or affliction for guns. Not unheard of, not the first person I've heard that has that many. Doesn't make me lose sleep at night over it, but I can see how federal agencies might be losing sleep over it. And it's funny, but it's not because I've told you numerous times that everybody is on a list. You think you're green and you're not involved. If you even demonstrate, come out here, understand that your phone was being tracked and picked up. They know who's out there. That goes for myself. I was out there today. All right. I participated in the protest, I guess. Like I took pictures and I got content and did a little bit of networking with some local news outlets. All right. So, sure, kind of co-opting a movement for content, but that's the name of the game. Welcome to alt media. I had to teach myself that today. So I feel like it's my job to tell you these things and understand that I'm not like normal media. Like I'm a guy who has time, a platform, and knows what he's doing with his systems. And I can sit here and have a nice conversation for about 2-3 hours if you want to. Just depends on how I'm feeling. It's late. It's Saturday, so everyone should be up hanging out with me right now. All right. Let me take a sip. You guys take a sip. Mm-hmm. So understand, everything that I am saying out loud has transpired today. The lawmakers having their incident with this guy who apparently was on his shit and made a horrible choice, in my opinion, but here we are. So in this one section, well, I'm gonna get through this last part, and it's just the political violence that, the narrative that's kind of being worked in because there is a lot of political violence and you have people doing random, silly ass, senseless shit. And a lot of times, some of those people ain't just on their own doing silly nonsense like that. Sometimes they got assistance. They're saying this gentleman may have had an extra person with him. Excuse me, all right? Says Minnesota House Speaker Lisa Dumith, a Republican from Cold Spring, called the attack evil and said she was heartbroken beyond words by the killings. The shootings are the latest in a series of attacks against lawmakers across parties. In April, a suspect set fire to the home of Democratic Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, from forcing him and his family to flee during the Jewish holiday of Passover. The suspect said he planned to beat Shapiro with a small sledgehammer if he had found him, according to the documents. In July 2024, most noted, Trump was grazed on the ear by one of a hail of bullets that killed a Trump supporter. 2 months later, a man with a rifle was discovered near the president's Florida golf course and arrested. That gentleman is the guy that we were talking about who had the influence in Ukraine, all right, and who was over here recruiting for those guys. Other incidents include a 2022 hammer attack on the husband of then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi in her San Francisco home, and a 2020 plot by anti-government extremists to kidnap Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer and start a civil war. That's what I was talking about in Michigan. That was the one that I was mentioning earlier Well, these gentlemen were like, we're going to kidnap this governor. I don't know where they got this idea from, but I've said it before. These groups are out there, and they have been out there for some time. And this is not anything new. The Fed agencies know this too. These people have been wandering around in real time, and you're probably friends with some of these people or related to them. You go to work with them. You may be hanging with them. What I'm telling you now is understand that these fusion centers are pumping. If you don't think these fusion centers are taking your data and checking it twice, you are sadly mistaken. What's going on in America is giving them the right to do it. And no matter if it's orchestrated or just completely random, I assure you, it's not going to work in the favor of the masses. It's just not. Situations like what's going on in LA are perfect catalysts for someone to get hit with a bullet that was not deserved for them or should have been directed at them. It's a tense situation over the course of time, and things and events tend to happen. When you have people outside all day, police outside, hot, hungry, angry, just like what happened in Mobile, you're going to get small fights, you're going to get scuffles, you're going to get people throwing smoke, and when the lights go out, as I mean when it gets dark and the sun goes down, and you get the late night protest. Now, this isn't to say that this is just going to like blow up and we know where is it going, chaos, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that this is a perfect combination of events that can go wrong, and it looks like it's kind of leaning that way. And I hate to say that, but it's starting to come off that way officially now. After today's attack on the lawmakers, we got to step back and think about where this is really going, and understand that this can go really left with one day it started in LA with protesters and military, and the next day it's sweeping down reform. When I say sweeping reform, I mean tanks and heavy equipment rolling down your street. I don't think that's a possibility, but reading the documents, doing all the research, people, we got to be real with ourselves here. If we're going to play this game and say that this stuff is partially real or true or it's happening, then you know for a fact that there is an opportunity that they will take, and we are going to be at the shit end of that stick. And when that happens, like I said last time, we can't come back from this. We just cannot come back from it. You can go forward, you can go to the side and then, but you're not gonna come back from it. I'm sorry, it's just not gonna happen that way. And that's kind of what this is aiming towards. And I know how I sound. I get it. Trust me, I know. What I'm saying to you is that if you are really giving this a hard eye, 2 ears, 2 eyes, 2 ears, and a whole heart and a brain, and you are processing what's going on in America, you can safely say that it's bubbling over. People are passing legislation to make it like lawful, unlawful, or lawful. I think it's unlawful. Make it unlawful to mention anything about Israel. I think that's New York and Mayor Adams right now. You got a lot of places playing games. You got a lot of things happening. You got a lot of stuff being passed. And with Israel and now Iran going at it, sending missiles at each other, which if wall break, I have to say wall break, the Great War of the Middle East has started. And if you're a Christian, you're a Muslim, Catholicism, Judaism, pagan, whatever. This one story of the Muslims rising for the Great War against the Jews of the Holy Lands in the final fight in the Middle East. I want to say this in a way that does not make me seem like I am out of my rabbit ass mind. And that's really easy for me to do on a platform called the Daily Rabbit Hole. And say things that could be taken out of context. But what I'm saying is if all you Christians and you religious people have been all reading the same story, and you all assume that this is the end times. And for people in my network of reading and research and theories, if you have all been reading, Albert Pike's, I think it's Dogma and something of religion. If you read that, he talks about the three great world wars that were fabricated to bring in some Luciferian agenda. I said it, and I've said it numerous times. You don't have to believe it. I don't care. I get it. But if you are Christian or Catholic or some type of religious belief system, then you have all read in your scripture of this day that has been reckoned to come for some time. Whether the events are being pushed or it just so happens to line up and it's playing on our emotional religious chords, I assure you right now, people, it's working, because there's a lot of events that have transpired that are pointing again at macro, micro, micro issues, macro issues, issues on a small national level, macro out in the open, large international movement. Hope I used that correctly. I feel like it's been a while since I took macro and microeconomics. But on a micro and macro level, what we're dealing with on a religious level, some people would warn that this is the end times. They're waiting on plagues. You hear, protest and birth pains and uprising against kings and queens. And this all seems like it's playing into something. And I assure you, it's a huge possibility it could be playing into something, but it ain't something that we want. That's all I'm saying. And there's a huge, huge situation right now that we are all involved in with what you see on my screen. And I say we're all involved with because, like I said, these things can go wrong. And it takes one person to go in there and ruin it. And if you think about the current climate in America, with Canada, with Mexico, with people overseas, China, North Korea, Russia, Pakistan and India, Israel, Iran, Iraq, Libya, Syria. I could keep naming for days. There are so many people that could do little isolated events like I've talked about, little proxy events happening all at once, like a giant operation, multiple operations all happening at once, events transpiring all at the same time, and America wouldn't know what to do. It would send everyone into pandemonium. Is that gonna happen? I hope the fuck not. I don't have time for that. Like I'm telling you now, I don't really know what to expect from this. I've always said a proper demonstration of hitting the corporate pockets is the best thing to do. I've always said that. Demonstrate, hit those pockets. Go for the pockets, man. Go for the money. Go for the source of control is the money. I'm never gonna sit here and tell you to start kicking in doors and cracking heads and shit. That's too much work. I don't want to be a part of that. I need y'all to tone it down. Let's try to go for like hitting the pockets, like bankrupting them, showing them that our power is greater in numbers and not doing these weird pseudo operations that you read in books and video games and you see in movies. Like people are doing these things in real time. And again, I'm gonna say it again. I've said that there are plenty of people out here very capable of this. Again, the last 20 years of war, you've sent home a lot of veterans. A lot of the last 40 years of war and conflict, you sent home double the number that's coming from the Iraq war in the 2000s. So there are a lot of people who are fully capable of doing what this gentleman did. So just think about that. Think about this whole tag tracking ID system that I've been telling you about. You got people moving around doing things, even in the footage that you're watching. This is just the live feed of the protest in LA. I think this is LA. Yes, that is LA. This is just a feed of the protest in LA. I was looking at San Antonio. Understand right now, everybody out here is being tracked. Your phone is pinging off every tower right now. If you're smart or you didn't have anything to hide, You can just go out there with your phone, go out there. It was going to ping regardless. It didn't really matter. But if you put yourself in that proximity, how they got it set up and what the police are able to do with proximity and frequency and all that, they are pinging all those cell phones and they're running background checks on those people, including myself for being down there. I'm not naive, man. I would like to put it out there that you need to understand what's going on out here too. These are real tactics. They can triangulate your phone. They can triangulate a camera. If it got an IP address or Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, I assure you, it has a signal. Now, if you just put your stuff in a Faraday bag while you were out there, kudos for you. I didn't do all of that today. I don't have anything to hide. I came down there to get press. So I'm not trying to start no conflicts. I almost thought I had to beat up an old woman today. Funny story, right? Cooler heads prevailed, but she tried to hit me and run me over with her wheelchair and then hopped out, thought she was going to stand up on me. I just told her, I assure you, ma'am, this is not the day to do this. I'm just minding my business. She got mad because I was smoking a cigarette at a public demonstration outside in the open where they have, cigarette dispensers and little ashtrays. I was not doing anything wrong. She got aggressive, threatened my life, told me she was going to kill me because I was smoking a cigarette outside where she was at. I lie to you not. I got some footage from the protest too that I wanted to show you guys also. I was out here today, had some conversation. I recorded myself talking. Again, the protests that happened in Mobile were fairly peaceful. There was no incidents other than the content that I showed that the gentleman was fighting. Also, shout out to WKRG5 for picking up the clip and putting it out there. It should have made the news tonight. So straight up, the Daily Rabbit Hole, we out here. Hey, 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 we out here. We out here. We out here. Putting out content. Right? So a good day for the Daily Rabbit Hole. Probably a really bad day for the guy that got punched in the face, but he probably shouldn't have thrown water on the guy too, like I said earlier. So again, it was a long day today. We were out here covering, one of my first times doing that. Let's have a warm moment. Let's break from the conspiracies and stuff real quick. Let's have a very warm moment. All right, today I was out there 2-3 hours taking pictures, did a couple small interviews, nothing crazy. I just wanted to get people on camera in the event that, something happens, maybe I catch a face or something, right? Conspiracy, whatever, right? So look, I was out there. It was hot. It rained a little bit. I got content. I got a lot of footage. I was talking to WKRG5 out there about what was going on, and we were sharing tidbits, ended up passing some business cards to them, but ended up getting the footage, leaving, going to my car, just thought get a quick snap, get a snap of something, right? Recording, and Buddy just throws water on him. Guy runs up, boom, bing, caught him with one, dropped him. Nose busted everywhere, right? I'm going to show you the video. Don't worry. I got it. All right? I got it. I got footage. So just a warm moment. The Daily Rabbit Hole. We started off as just a faceless page that was uploading videos 2 years ago. Almost, two and a half years now. Started 2.5 years ago. We were uploading videos. And we went viral, and I started streaming, and 2 years later, here we are as alt media, small platform, independent. It's been crazy. Thank you so much for all of this, guys. And it's just a warm moment for me because when I started this, I never meant to stream. I never meant to even go out and talk about this stuff, but I wanted to share videos that I thought people should know. And 2.5 years later, we're an independent outlet. We have our own website. We're streaming on the website right now. Understand where I came from. I'm in the same spot that I have been in the whole 2 years, where it went from the plain wood plyboard to lights, to flag, to backdrop. And I got a green screen that I haven't even displayed yet. So again, the Daily Rabbit Hole has taken so many steps in the last 2 years to be where we are today. And a lot of this is a big thank you to you guys for continuing to follow with me through the shadow bans, the mental struggles that I had, the emotional breakdowns that I had in my life last year due to what happened in my medical condition and taking me away from teaching and coaching. It was a hard thing for me. But I assure you, we are here 2 years later, baby. We're still here, and we've gone from videos to being alternative media, free press. Okay, I had my press badge on. I was out there, hey, pictures, I was hot. I was also hungover from last night. Was sweating out all that alcohol. It's absolutely horrible. Uh, but it was a good time, and that's something that I can get into. And this is the Daily Rabbit Hole. And we look back on this 5, 6 years later, and the platform is even bigger, and the message is even more pushed out. And we look back, and we're gonna say, man, we had 54,000 followers 5 years ago, and I hope 5, 6 years from now, I hope that number is upwards around 200, 300,000 followers, guys. That's what I'm hoping for, all right? Because I'm going to be here the whole time. I'm not walking away from the Daily Rabbit Hole. I know I have spurts where I'm not here, but I'm always here and I'm always reporting and I'm always watching and covering for you guys. And I know that sounds so cliche. I get it. But you got to understand my joy because we've grown together. If you've been watching the whole time, as far as how long I've been doing this, you watch me on Facebook, and then you watch me go to YouTube, and then you watch me go to Rumble. So it's one of those things that's been very special to watch. It's been very special to be a part of, and it's been pretty dope. Okay, so let's get into some content that I got from it. Hit that escape button. All right. I'll play my video first when I did and I was talking and whatnot. And then we'll go to the dude getting punched out for throwing water. Now that's the next video coming. Give me a second. All right, I'm gonna pause that. I'm gonna show the third display. That's me. Daily Rabbit Hole here. I'm under some cover. I'm at the Government Plaza, downtown Mobile, Alabama right now. We are at the No Kings protest. Largely peaceful protest so far, all right? Nothing crazy, nothing to worry about. In Mobile, Alabama, we are protesting the No Kings idea, right? He's doing the big parade. They're going out. A lot of people around America are protesting right now. In Mobile, Alabama, our demonstration is largely peaceful. We have no issues, no strange things going on out here, okay? We are boots on ground right now. No Kings protest. The Daily Rabbit Hole is out here covering the things that matter for you, okay? We are also here to find out, is this a psyop or not, all right? Could be easily. When we see mass protests sweep the nation like this, remember what I always tell you, order from chaos, all right? Right now across America, there are protests going on everywhere, okay? So we have to understand how these things happen. They are created out of structure and organization. For a demonstration as large as this, you have to understand that it takes calculated structure, okay? You have to organize, get permits, have police out here. So when you see these demonstrations, they are not random. We are not blocking the street in some places right now. But we are out here protesting the No Kings today. Today is June 14th, Saturday, Mobile, Alabama, 2025, guys. The Daily Rabbit Hole is boots on ground, guys, all right? I'll be back with more. All right. That's me. I was out there sitting down having a cigarette. That's when that little old lady rolled up on me, started talking shit. Like, I'm not saying that me and the old lady was going to throw hands, but she threatened my life because I was smoking a cigarette. I mean, yeah, should I be smoking a cigarette? No, but fuck it, I am, man. So what? I'm not perfect. Got anxiety issues, damn it. I'm working on it. Shit, I'm smoking one right now. Get my raw burgundy on. Shit. I said it, so what? Now, Today, like I said, was largely peaceful. It wasn't a lot of ruckus. The main issue that happened was the event that I caught where the gentleman got punched in the face for throwing water. As I said earlier, people on Facebook, when I clip this up and we have this conversation in the video, when we clip this is what I want to say to y'all. Hey, this is at the heat of the moment. I've told y'all your eyes and ears can only process so much going on. That's why cameras are important, because they catch little things that you can't see at the moment. So when it happened in live time, I thought the gentleman had got sucker punched. I didn't see the water thrown. The gentleman had told him that, hey, he threw water. I didn't see it. But when we broke the video down with the police officers, he was like, oh no, he did throw water. It's like, yeah, he sure did. He threw the water at him. I talked to the cops. I explained what happened, showed the footage numerous times. They all gathered around. We had a good time. Look, you can't catch everything with your eyes sometimes. So, when I do this clipping and we go back and we can look at it, I know what I said. Get off my ass, okay? I tried to correct it with a pinned comment, let everyone know, hey, I didn't catch it the first time, okay? I didn't see it. I saw the punch, not the water, but when you look back, buddy fucked around and found out. I hate to say it. Hey, here we go. I know that's what y'all want to see. Oh, shit. Fuck, I can't believe I got that. What the fuck? He just swung on him. The guy right there swung on him down there. The dude walking off. He swung. Yeah, swung on him. Swung on him. Fucking sucker punched him. You all right, man? Yeah, I asked, was he all right? You assholes, while you talking about you had sympathy for the. I didn't have sympathy. I didn't know what was going on in live time. Get off my ass. I asked him, was he all right? He did get his shit knocked in, though. I'm not gonna lie. Let's look at that again. All right. Pay attention. Right here. I have my mouse up. Boom. He throws water. But he gets hot. Ooh, shit. Fuck, I can't believe I got that. I forgot I was on a hot bite. That's my bad. He just swung on him. All right, so that's essentially what happened, guys. Like, buddy threw water on him, and it just went from there. And those things tend to happen at events. But was the demonstration peaceful? Absolutely, it was extremely peaceful for the most part. It wasn't like it was just anarchy and babies crying and dogs barking. It wasn't that. It was pretty calm for the most part. People are hot and a little testy out there, but it wasn't too bad. All right? It wasn't too bad at all. Now, again, I got the live feed up. We got ICE protest. The whole No Kings is all merged in together. It's pretty much one big clusterfuck at this point of protesting. So now, like I've said before, we're going to recap what was going on. Now we've talked about the Minnesota lawmakers. We've mentioned the protests. We mentioned the parade that went on. I can find footage on the parade and we can look at that too. What I'm saying is today was a emotionally fueled charged day in America. In those days, typically things can get pretty hot and testy and stuff happens. And we never want to sit here and condone violence or act like, hey, this is what has to be done. I keep telling you to hit those pockets, baby. Go for the pockets. But you're going to have insiders and people who feel a certain way, and they're going to get out there and they're going to do stuff that is uncalled for. I just keep telling you guys, don't fall for that, because they got the IDs, they got the fusion centers. They're banking on us being stupid. And right now, Americans are playing into that. It's real unfortunate that it's happening this way. All right, let's take a break. While we're at this moment of break, feel free to follow the Daily Rabbit Hole on Facebook and all other social media platforms. come to the website, watch the show, or catch up on your favorite episodes. I have the whole list on there. You can just click on it. It updates automatically. Everything's on there, all right? Feel free to donate on all platforms. And if you guys need any type of branding, digital help, new website, excuse me, hit up Dirty Rabbit Digital. That's the marketing department for the Daily Rabbit Hole. That's where I make all this content at. This is where I do a lot of my business at, all right? Instead of me trying to run it all through there, I kind of broke it up, made a little business department for it inside of it. And I conduct a lot of my business in there like I did today with WKRG, the content that I got, and a lot of stuff that I do with working with small businesses and helping them get the traffic and the funneling that they need, the branding and all that good stuff. All right, so again, feel free to follow the Daily Rabbit Hole. Look up dirtyrabbitdigital.com. 60-minute booking for free, man. Can't beat that. You get 60 minutes to talk to me about your dreams and your goals. I'm okay with that. We can make it happen. Talk to me. Let's see what we can get done, all right? All right. Now, we did have someone, a fan, who was a part of Dirty Rabbit Digital. So next week, I'm going to discuss and give ad placement to Luke's Zombie Apocalypse e-course. And it's very informative. It's very decorative. Straight to the point, comes in brochure for all those travel needs. If you got to bug out and go, you can get it in a brochure mode, and then you can get it in a regular, e-course mode. You want to print it out and laminate it yourself, or you can buy the laminated copy from him. It's all digital. It gets sent to you. We're going to discuss that more with some survival stuff, because everything that's going on right now, there may be an opportunity for people to understand that prepping and survival is needed. And in the event that it does go hot, more hotter than what we're getting, and you want to make sure that you're not lacking. You don't want to get caught with your pants down. It's like having a condom. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Hey, you can apply that to a lot of things. And when we're going to talk about this prepping and this survival stuff coming up next week, we're going to get really heavy into this, because a lot of the stuff that's happening, there could be instability in your area. There could be some type of event that doesn't allow you to get out. It could be martial law. It doesn't always have to be zombies. It could be martial law. It could be instability. It could be a terror attack. You never know what's going on, and you never know where you're going to be at or where your family's at. So it's important that we talk about these things. So next week, we're going to get on some survival stuff and some prepping stuff, and I want to have an honest conversation with you, okay? Like, be real with yourself. It's nothing wrong with stocking up on food and water. I understand that everyone's household is different. Money's tight in these times. So if you penny pinch, petty prep, do what you got to do. But you need to get you at least 3 days worth of food and water, because you never know what could happen. Make sure you. So my mixer turns off in mid-conversation, so I'm sorry about that. There's maybe a timer in my mixer, but it turned off in mid-conversation. But like I was saying, have batteries, have a rope, have things ready and prepared if something goes wrong, that you can protect yourself and you can survive. All right. I'm no outdoorsman. I live in a city. I'm all about urban prepping and urban survival, how to move around in urban environments, the gray man, how to talk to people, how to go out there and dress and be normal. That's the kind of stuff that I'm on. I'm not some outdoors guy who's going to be like, you need to go out here and hunt and do all this. I wasn't raised on that. I figured this too. If everyone's trying to evacuate to the woods, everyone's going to be in the woods. You still may end up in a bad situation. If you're going to stay in your area, truth of the matter is, a lot of people are never going to get out in time. Roads are going to be clogged, so where are you really going to go? You're not going to go far with everyone on the road, so sometimes bugging in may be the best option for you, and that's okay. It's not like you're going to be the only one, but these are conversations we're going to have starting next week, all right? But as you're watching the live feed above my head, this is LA. These are different parts of LA. Please don't think LA is just burning down right now. It's not. These are just small little pockets of instability and protests and a couple insiders here and there, guys. It's not how the media is playing it, and they're making it seem like this is the biggest revolution ever, Because I assure you, anytime the media is behind it, it's bullshit. If they're for your movement, you are not the hero. Because I assure you, the media has a responsibility to not incite Americans. So the last thing they want to do is incite us. So I know for a fact that they're not really trying to incite us. They're just trying to spin that narrative. And it makes sense. Believe it or not, it's entirely on you. I'm not going to argue about it. But what I am going to say is that you should be careful about what you attach yourself to in movements. Even this whole Trump parade thing, and it seemed like a nice event. From the footage that I was watching, it seemed like it was pretty good. So I think a lot of them are still like replaying it. No, it was a 3 hour event. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna pop it up here and we're gonna talk. All right, there you go. And I'll do you even one better. I'll do you even one better. I'll give you the double coverage right now. We can have a conversation for a little bit. I got enough of my face film. I got like a whole hour of my face, so I got plenty of clips. But let's be entertained. All right, here you go. So again, like I said, a lot of things have gone on in America. Right now, I got both feeds. I got the stream going of the LA protests, and then I do have the parade that happened today in DC for Trump's birthday, and also the 250th birthday of America, which is also happened to be Trump's birthday. I know you conspiracy people, or not you conspiracy people, excuse me, you QAnons are very staunch about these little dates and stuff. But America has made it to 250 years, and on the 250th birthday of America, I assure you it's been a hell of a day. Hell of a day, people. Hell of a day, guys. Protests, lawmakers being attacked, parade. I'm pretty sure the agencies were working overtime today just with data and intel and everything going on. I'm pretty sure the people out here are hot and bothered. I was hot and bothered out there, man. You get hot enough out there, people start talking crazy. You don't know what's going to happen out there. So today was one in America. It was one of those days, guys, in America, and it was pretty outlandish, if you ask me. And this isn't even everything that happened. We're just covering the biggest stories and discussing where it could go. So if you're new to the Daily Rabbit Hole, welcome. Welcome, welcome. We got a couple more minutes, but I want you guys to understand that what's going on is very real. Please take it at face value. The incidents that are transpiring today, that happened today, are real incidents. Whether you want to label it, whatever you want to label it, I'm not going to get into the schematics of that. But what I'm going to say is that it is duly noted that how this is starting to look, and if you ask me my honest opinion, like I said before, it's starting to look like there's going to be some type of reform, some type of mass security or mass reform regarding how we interact with the lawmakers and how we're going to interact with each other regarding identity-based politics and movements, identity-based movements and different groupings of people like veterans and patriots, militias, one-offs, religious people, because everyone is on this same exact list that I'm talking about. You just don't realize it because you think you're a Christian. That no, I'm sorry, boo-boo. They on Christians' ass too. I talked about that some weeks ago and years ago where they kicked in this kid door for sharing a meme. And he was a Christian. They're talking about putting Christians on the domestic extremist list, because a lot of times your alt-right groups or your alt-right extremists, if you want to consider everyone extremists, tend to be Christians or Catholics, Southern Baptist, First Baptist, some form of Christianity, and a lot of times they've put them in that database now or in that grouping of extremism. So they've already said Christianity is considered a domestic extremist idea. And that's that from Department of Homeland Security. But if you understand all the other contexts and stories, you understand that the Luciferian doctrine, it was to wipe out Christianity, and they get rid of that, and everybody praises Satan or some shit like that. Again, what just came out my mouth will make me sound crazy. I'm okay with that. What I'm saying is this. I'm saying that there's something to a lot of the stuff that we're reading and we're talking about. And it's not fair to keep dismissing it when it's playing out in front of us. That's my problem. If there was ever a point that I was a conspiracy person for fun, it was all the way up until 2020. I was a conspiracy person for fun. Party conversation. Hey guys, you guys know about chemtrails? Or you MK Ultra? Oh, the Manson, Hitler. Oh, we talked about all these little conspiracies. It's fun. What if Hitler survived? Fuck me, man. 5 years after 2020, they already put out that Hitler may have survived 20 extra years in Argentina. Had 2 kids in a family. Hello? Hello? Y'all act like that didn't happen. It happened. They said it happened. So come on. How many times did we all have these cooler talks and party conversations about fun conspiracies, and then after 2020, everything was true? We were like, what the fuck? How? Bill Gates is really trying this shit. Like, and he had talked about all of this years ago. He talked about the depopulation. The Georgia Guidestones had the rules to bring population back after some global catastrophic event. God, I couldn't get it out. Global catastrophic event, 500 million, how to rule those people, 6, 7 different languages, pointing at the sun in a certain direction and dynamic. These conversations were all cooler talk and fun, ha, until they started emitting everything and doing it in real time. And then when they started doing it in real time, they couldn't come back from it. Now we're all here stuck, scratching our heads like we're never going back to normal. Normal was gone 2019 before. Oh, guys, that shit was gone a long time ago. We're never going back. Whatever they started in 2020, that was like a huge phase, a huge overhaul phase. Because I assure you now, what we're looking at now, all the context, all the videos, all the crazy conversations that people have had and sat here and said, you are out of your mind, you are crazy, you are just making it up. I assure you, conspiracy theorists are like 143 and 17, and that 17 is because QAnon and their damn dates. They keep putting out dates on TikTok and Facebook and like, oh, on this date, something's gonna happen, and then nothing happens because no one can see it, so it gets it gets counted as a loss. But overall, 143 and 17. Those are Hall of Fame numbers as a football coach. I don't give a fuck what you say. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. There's so many instances that we're talking about that have come to fruition, and we are all sitting here in our little bubble of free thinking researchers, and we're like, I think we got a problem. Put my face up here. We are all feeling like we have a real problem right now, okay? We are pretty much sitting here saying right now that the things we thought were fake and misdirection turned out to be part of some shady ass agenda that's been running for some time, but we've been reading it from small spots in history, different instances where we don't know the full truth, but as we dig deeper into it, we're starting to find out that we may have fucked up as citizens and let in a group of people we knew nothing about and we didn't fully understand. And now these people are lawmakers, doctors, they're lawyers, they're scientists, they're researchers, they're philosophers, they're philanthropists, they're everything. There's like a group of evil, psychotic, psychopath Satanists running around who go under different titles and little words and groups, but they all kind of work on some type of multi-layered agenda that somehow tied to something that happened between 2000 and about 12,000 years ago. 2000 for sure. Even if we don't know if that 1,000 years was added prematurely, and that's another conversation and a wall break. I'm not gonna get into that. But what I'm saying is, by definition, for the last 2,000 years, this particular group has been walking the world, causing chaos, corruption, human trafficking, adrenochrome, child PDF. Like, it's real crazy that these conversations have been had for so long that in 2025 it's pretty much coming out and it's seeming like all of it is true, and the Epstein case killed it. Like, if it wasn't true before, it was definitely true after Epstein. And the fact that it is true and it's been going on this long, and if you read the reports, they lost children at the border. CPS stated that they had lost 500,000 people previous to those people at the border in the state system alone. 500,000 kids were going missing in the state system alone. This is before we were adding in the numbers to the border. This is before a lot of numbers were getting added in. These numbers were high a long time ago. And in this recent episode that I saw on Sean Ryan, Tim Tebow was talking about the number one consumers of human trafficking and PDF content are the United States of America. That is the largest consumer of this shit. Think about that. The largest consumer of drugs, America. The largest consumer of guns, America. The largest consumer of PDF bullshit, America. I don't make this up. This isn't an American slander session. What I'm saying is the idea and the make-believe idea people have of America and what America actually is not the same idea. I'm sorry. We have got to let that idea go. That shit may have looked like something different for everyone because everyone's perception or perspective is different based on their experiences. But I can assure you that I don't need all the same experiences to read and pay attention and see that there is something really fucking wrong right now. I don't care if it's Trump in office. I don't care if it's Kamala in office. I didn't care if it was Biden, Clinton. There has been something wrong with every last president in office. And it is strange how nobody is really acknowledging it. It's so crazy to me how nobody will actually acknowledge the bullshit that's actually going on right now. And the fact that it's been going on for some time. And the fact that they are not hiding it. If you really pay attention, it is hiding in plain sight every time. Symbolism will be the death of them. And I know that sounds crazy. I know I try to sound like a reputable press, alt media kind of guy, but these are some hard ass conversations we gotta have. You have got to ask yourself the question, have we trusted the wrong people for far too long? Damn all the protests, damn all the narratives, cold hard facts. Look at your last 40 years of presidents from Reagan till now, and you cannot tell me that there's not something wrong. The man sold crack to... One of the greatest detriments to the black community was Ronald Reagan and the Ira-Contra scandal. One of the greatest detriments, besides AIDS, was the crack epidemic. One of the greatest detriments to just humans in general was selling crack cocaine in the neighborhood to fund a war. And 20, 40 years later, guess what? They've showed you movies. Every drug dealer, think about every drug dealer movie in the 80s. Blow, every last one of them. Belly, Paid in Full, all these people were all involved with federal informants or federal agents selling drugs for them. Y'all don't find that weird? The shit was so crazy. They made a whole show called Snowfall. People watched this show and loved it and not realizing that that shit is true. They were selling crack cocaine to the neighborhood. And y'all find it strange that most people who actually understand their history and their research have a weird distrust of the government. Y'all don't find that just a hair strange. Even you don't even have to go into the weird satanic blood drinking shit that throws people off and they say you're crazy. I don't have to mention that. I can mention the truthful shit, and it should make you think twice. You should be like, huh. Is this really a thing? 20 years later, people look back on Gaddafi and say they got it wrong. Isn't that crazy? Libya is a failed state, officially. Libya was not a failed state until they did that man dirty in the streets. Libya is a failed state. The people that you are dealing with destroy countries. And if you watch what's gone on in other countries, take that and apply it to what's going on in America. Easily take it and apply it to America. If you don't believe that our government has destroyed other governments in coup d'etat, then you should go look up how many coup d'etats we have caused around the world, and then look at your own presidency and look at how it's been operating the last 40 years and what's happening, and tell me that this may not be a coup d'etat that's already happened or taking place as we speak. Mouthful. You guys got to be serious, man. Pay attention. It is what it is. You don't have to believe me. You can go look at the books. You can go look at different things. You got to understand. Some of this stuff is real. Some of this stuff is happening. Epstein's real. Can't nobody deny that. He is real. Whether he was Mossad or he was U.S. federal alphabet boy, I don't know what side of the line he was on. But we do know that he was blackmailing people. He had $2 billion unaccounted for, and he seems to be in all the prominent pictures with world leaders. And Elon making the statement that Trump was in the photos or on the list, that wouldn't be shocking considering he's in the pictures with them. Are we shocked that he would be on the list? He may be on there somewhere, but he has pictures with him, so it's not like it was unheard of. People are like, oh my God, he made a grand statement. The man is in pictures with him. He admitted to it. He admitted to being friends with him. He, quote unquote, he went the other way. Do I believe that? It seems like his honeypotting was working really well. So I don't know if he's really off of that. If he really wasn't a part of it, I don't honestly know. What I do know is that it happened and it's real and it's still happening to this day. And the more that you accept that and believe it, it'll be easier for you. Don't mind me, I'm doing a quick system check again, just making sure that I'm not like glitching out all over the place like I am on my screen. I think I got too many things running, but I noticed that. Don't mind me, I'm doing a quick system check again, just making sure that I'm not like glitching out all over the place. Sound like I'm all right. So my big thing is that a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about today seems real suspicious. And I had mentioned earlier that the judge that was over one of the cases for Epstein and his bank, she had a knock on the door from a fake FedEx guy that tried to assassinate her, ended up killing her husband and shooting her son. Now we speed up 6 years later, about the same exact time of the years in the summer. Actually, we'll say about 5 years later, 4 or 5 years later, maybe 3, but I'll say 4. 4 years later, we have another situation where guy dresses up, impersonates a cop, pulls up on lawmakers and guns them down and goes after another set of lawmakers down like 9 miles down the road. And allegedly they can't find him. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember them finding the FedEx guy either. Does anyone remember them finding the FedEx guy? Because I definitely don't remember that. If they did, I missed it, but what I'm saying right now is this gentleman is on the loose and they're offering 50 grand for this gentleman to be found right now. Whoever he is, he spent time in Africa, the Middle East, smells of military ex operations, definitely sure that it's going to be a task to find him. All right. Now, when was he in the military? I can't give you that. He's about 57, I think, was what they said. So that would probably put him around, we'll say 80s and 90s in the military, give or take. Late 70s, early 80s, maybe the 90s, give or take. Could be wrong, but he does smell like military, and they can't find him. And again, the last 3 out of 4 people were all military. New Orleans was military. Vegas was military. This is military. Are you guys starting to notice a pattern about our military and the extremism that's going on inside the military? A lot of people do not want to talk about, but there is a lot of extremism in groups inside the military. How do I know? Because they're in the Air Force. Just because I joined the Chair Force, people, does not mean I did not pay attention. I paid attention to everything going on around me, just like I do now. I assure you, these people are in the military. They have been in the military for some time because the military kind of breeds that personality too. They create it too. Don't think they don't. So I'm not going to sit here and act like the guy in Washington too, prior military. I'm telling you, for them to, it's like they're using the military against the people, or at least maybe just attempting to or scare people, but not realizing that the veterans on the other side are just as capable and just as dangerous. And they know that. That's why I said the veterans on the list were first ones on there, because veterans understand op security, infosec, you know what I'm saying, protocol, mission. They understand mission support. They understand objectives. They understand a lot of things that regular civilians do not understand. Even at the basic level of Air Force and Coast Guard, we all understand OPSEC and InfoSec easily. That's one of the biggest things pushed. InfoSec, OPSEC, info security, operational security. You can add mission security in there also too, not talking about the mission objectives out loud, out in the open. Those are typically done in your commander's call or your daily briefings, just depending on how you guys went about it. What I'm saying is that all this that I've said about fusion centers, the government, tag tracking IDs, what you're seeing right now and how it's playing out, they know what Americans are capable of. They just have to tread lightly with Americans because of that reason. For the same reason that those lawmakers have all had knocks at the door, or Shapiro had somebody try to burn his house down during the Jewish Passover, I assure you that people are unhinged. People are capable of these things. I will not sit here and act like humans are not fucked up. Humans are fucked up. And it's not always completely our fault. World is the world. The world is the way it is. But if you believe in the scripts, in the Bible and all that, and it tells you that this is Satan's realm, you guys got to understand you're playing with principalities and spiritual warfare. And I know that's crazy. Here we go, being all metaphysical and weird. Spiritual warfare. But I assure you, there are demons walking around. There are spirits inhabiting bodies doing things you do not understand. If you believe in reptilians, that's completely on you. Please do not judge me. I have not seen a reptilian in person. That's kind of a lie. I think I've seen one in person, but I just try not to get into that conversation because it's hard to prove. I've seen the eye glitches on TV. I've seen a lot of things. I'm a former First Baptist, kid growing up. I grew up in the church. I was a junior deacon board and an usher. I've read the Bible. I've been to Vacation Bible School. I'm pretty sure that there are demons running around right now. I'm convinced of that one too. You can't tell me no other way. There are demons running around America, and I assure you they're walking around at these protests. I'm quite sure that old little lady had one in her who tried to run me over with a wheelchair today and told me she'd fucking kill me because I was smoking a cigarette. I have that video too. I'm not going to show it because, although I don't really care about how I'm painted in a light, I did say an asshole thing to her because I told her, You're already in a bad place. I advise you to find you something safe to do. I'm not going to sit here and act like I was doing something wrong. I wasn't bothering anybody. It was people smoking nothing. It was weed smoke out there. People were smoking weed at the protest. Everywhere I was at, I smelled weed smoke. But this little old lady ran up on me in a wheelchair. Hot Wheels came up on me and was like, you need to put that cigarette out. You can, and I'll fucking kill. I told her I'm not putting a cigarette out. And she was like, I'll fucking kill you if you don't put it out. I'm like, is this happening to me right now? Am I being gang stalked? Like, I had to look around for a second. Like, are y'all fucking with me right now? Because I'm out here. Come on, man. Don't be petty. Don't be petty. I had to look around, but cooler heads prevailed. A gentleman walked up and was like, hey, why are you bothering him? He's not talking to anyone. He's doing his own thing. So what if he's smoking a cigarette? Young lady approached me. She was like, I heard what was said. You know, whoop-de-woo, whoop-de-woo. Like, people are going to feel the way they feel. Why that old lady wanted to come at me about smoking a cigarette when everyone else is out there just getting high as fuck and doing everything else beyond me. But she was very rude and she did threaten my life. It is what it is. She tried to say later in the video, she was like, I said I was going to kill that fucking cigarette. I was like, that's not what you said. Then she got mad and she shot the bird at me on camera. Fuck it. Let's watch it. Fuck it. I'm here. Let's close out the show. All right. Let me find it. Because I assure you, this shit is insane. That's the walk by. I'm going to show you the video. Y'all think I'm bullshitting too, don't you? I'm not. I'm not at all. Let's see if I can find it. Because I surely downloaded it. I think this is. Let's see what this is. And sure, you'll be like, why are you arguing with an old white lady in a wheelchair? First of all, mind the business that pays you. Bothering me was not something that I was asking for, okay? Like, and then to come up on me and threaten me, I don't care who you are. You don't come up, you don't roll up on people and you threaten them. That's just my opinion. I don't care. Take it how you want to, but I assure you threaten me, I'm going to get out of pocket with you too. I don't care who you are. I'm sitting down minding my business. Let me do that. Daily rabbit hole here. They gonna make me record it. Right now, I am being bombarded for. Here you go. If you don't believe me, sure, I probably handled it wrong. That's fine. I'll be that asshole. You can judge me all you want. Whatever. But don't roll up on me fucking bothering me, talking to me crazy. I wasn't bothering you, okay? That's just me. Petty, whatever. Daily rabbit hole here. They gonna make me record it. Right now, I am being bombarded for smoking a cigarette. My life has been threatened already. She has told me she was gonna kill me. This is real information. This is happening right now. Please. Daily rabbit hole here, guys. We out here, all right? We out here. Ma'am, I'm not playing this game. I'm gonna record you. You're not gonna play with me. I refuse. That was the guy that came to me. That was the gentleman that was trying to talk her down because she tried to roll up on me. Like, she tried to hit me with a wheelchair, get out the wheelchair, and like, try to start a confrontation. I kid you not. This gentleman had to walk up and, like, say something to her because I'm just sitting on the ground. Clearly, you can see I'm sitting. I'm just sitting here smoking a cigarette. I was making the video that I showed you earlier. We are literally sitting right here talking about me smoking cigarettes right now. Shit is crazy, guys. I'm out here, all right? We getting some B-roll. I'm minding my business. I'm not bothering nobody. I'm not bothering anybody. I'm not bothering anybody. I'm not, sir, you see me sitting here minding my business, right? I'm working. I'm minding my business.
I know, and
I'm
I know
minding my business.
as well. But I think it would be best if you both just separated.
She's on. I'm not gonna be an asshole. I'm not.
Hey, please don't. Like, nobody be an asshole.
I'm not. I'm trying not to.
I get it. But I don't think anybody should be. I think we should just step away from each other and be a What's up?
This lady right here.
What is she doing?
She doesn't. It's just. I think it's escalating out of control.
She threatened to kill me. She threatened to kill me. She threatened to kill me. You can play this game.
Public space, he's allowed to know, like, everyone.
You threatened to kill me, did you not? You threatened to kill me, did you not? Okay, cool. You on camera though. I love it because I'm finna get nothing but views for this. Go on about your business. You already in a bad place, so I advise you to move. I'd advise you to move. For real, for real. Asshole comment, but you see she moved the fuck on, okay? I know I was wrong for talking to the elder that way, but listen, don't come bothering me. You can say what you want about Marcus and the Daily Rabbit Hole. He cussed out an old woman. The old woman was in my business. I said what I said. I get it. It's been a long day of protest. Like I said, people were being testy and assholes for no reason. A lot of people were actually trying to be difficult. A lot of people were handling it well out there. Some people were just being assholes. Like the gentleman who got hit in the face. He was being an asshole. Excuse me, by no means was I going to sucker punch an old white woman in a wheelchair. Like, you know how bad of press that would have been? I'm not going to do that, but I did tell Hot Wheels to scurry the fuck on. And I know that's fucked up, but stop playing with me. I'm not bothering you. You threatened to kill me for no reason. I'm minding my business. So, yeah, we're going to close the Daily Rabbit Hole out with that video clip. We're going to close the Daily Rabbit Hole out with that video, guys. Listen, it was crazy, man. It was a very eye-opening experience to actually, you know, see the protest, you know, face up like that, be a part of it, take pictures, get content, end up working with the local news media on footage and just a whole lot of stuff that went on in one day. And it happens. That's what happens when you get a lot of people out in the open together. It's hot. People sweating, probably been drinking. A lot of stuff can happen. A lot of people emotions fueling. Even mine. I was hot. I didn't want to be bothered. But you have no reason to roll up on anyone and threaten to kill them. I don't care if you're in a wheelchair or you're a young child. You got to learn to have respect for people and stop doing stupid stuff to people like throw water on them because you don't like their message. You get punched in the face for that. It happens. So my message to y'all, that's why I say, man, don't get out here trying to be stupid, man, because some people, you just don't know what they're on and you don't know what they're thinking and it can escalate and you don't want it to escalate. Whoever that gentleman was and that young lady was that came to my aid to help de-escalate, I appreciate you because I really wasn't trying to bother with anyone. I was just taking pictures and recording my content, and little Hot Wheels rolled up on me. Meemaw came up and she wanted to smoke. Meemaw wanted to smoke. I wasn't gonna do it to her, guys. I just want to tell her, hey, you need to roll the fuck along. Find you something safe to do because you're being petty. It's people out here doing all kinds of shit, getting high, drinking, and you out here in my face because I'm smoking a cigarette. It's a public demonstration. I'm on a public ground in a public space. Move along. A lot of times it be people doing stupid stuff, getting caught up in the moment that's causing the problems, those insiders. And I'm not saying that little old lady was an insider. She just picked me that day because like I was sitting there and I'm an easy target and I'm not gonna do nothing to her. That's all I attested to because she rolled up on me quick like, nigga. I was like, oh shit. Like I was in my phone at one point. I had did the video and then all of a sudden I look up and it's Hot Wheels and I'm like, oh shit. And I had to register what she was saying. I was like, you want to put my cigarette? I was like, I'm not putting my cigarette. I just took a break. It's hot. My back hurt. Let me sit here for a second, have me a cigarette. And then she went on, she's like, you don't put that cigarette out, I'll fucking kill you. And I'm like, what? Mima, what would your grandchildren think if you don't get your old ass out of my face? And then that's when the people pulled up and was like, hey, you guys you all right, sir? I'm like, hey, get Mima. Get somebody grandma. She tripping. I don't know who rolled her ass out here, but you better get her. So, that's how the No Kings Day went for me. I got a lot of good content. Got some national syndication happening today. I didn't see the video. I was on stream with you guys, so if the news played it, I missed it, or it's airing right now. It'd have been WKRG5 in Mobile, Alabama. Hopefully they kept my trademark in there. I had the Daily Rabbit Hole in there. I got my credit for it. So good things. Beginning of good things, and covering topics like this in America with an honest light, not picking a side, not picking a narrative, and just informing you of what's going on out there, all right, and giving you my idea of all the reports that that have happened. I just want to give you guys good content and open, honest dialogue. I don't want to sit here and feel like I'm plugging in for the deep state. I'm here to tell you that today was a calculated event on the Trump's birthday, 250 years of America. All that, everything played in today is going to go down in history. We're going to be talking about this the next couple days and weeks in America and all over the media. So again, I'll be here. We'll be talking about it. You guys, if you go out here in these events, keep your head on a swivel. The clown told me today, the one and only Mr. Jovial told me, hey, you better keep your head on a swivel out there, all right? And I told him, hey, I'm always on a swivel, baby. That's how I spotted Hot Wheels rolling up, right? I looked up and she was right there angry. So I'm always spotting. And I caught the event. Like, I was watching everything. I walked around all the groups. I made sure to see people, get camera on faces. I did all that just to get content, see what's going on. But understand that when you go to a protest, it's hot, emotions are running high, people are drinking, smoking. You don't know what kind of mind state these people are in. You got to be careful. That was two liberals fighting each other. And the dude that did it was apparently he's a liberal too, I guess. So apparently the liberals are imploding. I don't know how true that is. I try not to get into that little rhetoric of liberals and the weird nuances that are them. But what I'm saying is when you guys participate, hey, guard your energy, keep your head on the swivel, guys. There's a lot of stuff going on in America. There's a lot of little hidden proxy groups inside of these protesting riots, insiders, in nonprofit organizations, Antifa, just people doing stuff to incite, and it can go further. So it's really important that you guys pay attention. This was one of my first real protests covering as the Daily Rabbit Hole. I've been to a protest, but it was just hanging out, seeing what's going on. And I really don't protest for real. But what I'm saying is going out as press and media is completely different. And in those situations, it's important for you to keep your head on a swivel. It's important as a protester or someone participating to keep your head on a swivel and watch out for the signs that something could go wrong. Watch out for people who have been drinking and smoking too much. Watch out for the flags. If you want to know what you're dealing with, look for the flags. People are giving you heads up of who they are and what they're about. Just listen to them talk, feel their energy, and watch out, all right? Some people really think they're out here fighting a good cause, and there's nothing wrong with that, with peacefully protesting. Although I think sometimes peacefully protesting doesn't work, I think you need to hit their pockets. That's the kind of protest I'm saying. Hit those pockets. Tank the stocks. Ask United Healthcare how their life is going right now. It's not pleasant at United Healthcare right now. And I'm not saying you got to knock a person off for it. I'm saying there's power with people and there's power with protesting if you do it correctly and you go after the right means of control. All right? So I'm going to leave you with that before I go. Thank you so much for all that you've done for the Daily Rabbit Hole. Go to thedailyrabbithole.org. The stream is live. It'll be there, index on the little YouTube playlist. Feel free to click it and have a good time, all right? I'll be on Rumble. A lot of this is going to get clipped up. It's going to be on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We everywhere. I'm going to be on YouTube too, all right? Thank you so much for being the best part of the Daily